If you're looking for a quick, no fuss makeup routine to make you feel fresh and confident first thing in the morning, then you're in the right place. My name's Hannah and I'm a makeup artist for the everyday woman. So today's Get Ready With Me is all about simple steps and easy to use products that are perfect on the more mature skin. So let's get started. So first of all, it's all about prepping and priming the skin. And today we're going to use the Hello Sunday SPF 50, which actually works as a perfect primer as well. It's called the invisible one, and you can see that it's clear. It's so silky and smooth, and you can see how it goes on the skin. It just gives the perfect base for then any makeup to be applied on top. But again, you're getting that SPF 50, which is perfect. The most anti-aging product you can use is an SPF, so do make sure you have one in your little regime. And not forgetting the neck. So I've chosen the Bobbi Brown sticks today. Now these are amazing because they're really simple to use. They don't dry down, so that then if they do end up sitting in the creases, you can smooth it back out. And of course on the socials we see everybody drawing all over their face, but actually it's quite a good technique. So let's try this today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do half of my face, so and leave the other half bare so we can see the difference between the two. So I'm just going to draw on where I feel I need it, which won't be all over, which is just literally just under the eye area. And then just here at the side, down, and then just there at the side as well. And in between the nose, and a little bit on the nose. Now that's on, I'm now going to use a sponge. Now, when you get these little sponges, they come this sort of size. Now, what you need to do is fill it with water. And when you fill it with water, you hold it under the tap and keep squeezing, and then it fills up with water, and then it doesn't absorb all your product. This is the way to do it. But also the great thing about it is that because it's got the water in there, it just gives a lighter coverage and a lighter touch to our makeup, because we just want to look lovely, light and flawless. So once you've got your product on, all you're going to do is just pat it into the skin. Rather than giving a big swiping motion, just give a stippling motion. And then this will just give the product exactly where you want it and give you the lovely coverage without anything sort of disappearing. Because sometimes people say to me, you know, it becomes a little bit too sheer. Well, if you want it a little bit denser, just pat it in and work it into the skin. And it just gives a nice coverage. And these are lovely, these sticks, because they are nice and light, but they're very buildable. So you can just add a little bit more as and where you want. Working into the side of the nose, I do find you get a lot of little red capillaries all around the side of the nose. So it's quite good to sort of get into that area. And then just pat away. And anywhere you've got a little bit more concern, I've got a lot of hyperpigmentation I like to sort of cover up, but then pat it away. Starting to give a really nice coverage. Then you can get a darker shade, which would act as a bronzer. And again, just drawing onto the face. Just a little bit up there and a little bit onto the jowls and the jawline. And again, taking your sponge and just patting it in. Working it into the skin. If you take it underneath the jaw, you really do sort of create a shadow, so it gives us our jawline back. And also, if you find that you've got like the jowly area just here, you see I've gone onto that with the brown, just to give it that little bit of knocking it back, just to create that little bit more shadow there. It's starting to give a lovely warmth to the skin without anything too obvious. Yeah, it just gives a nice flawless finish, really. And then if you wanted to, you can take a little brush and just take some of the brown and just add it just into the crease of your eye, just to create that depth and just give a little bit more definition to the eye. But all with the same product, so it's nice and it all sort of marries together. You can take it underneath the eye too, just to soften. You see it's all sort of coming together. The Bobbi Brown sticks are perfect just to give that lovely soft coverage. But if you do feel you want that little bit more sort of around the inner eye, especially if you've got more of a protruding sort of bag area and you want to disguise that, I'd suggest getting a concealer and just taking it. It's only a small amount and it's only in the inner corner and it's just sort of underneath the bag. Just a couple of dots, just there and there, and then just a little bit to highlight at the side of the eye as well. And again, just patting it in. You can use your finger or then go back to your sponge as well. Just bring it all together. And just use your ring finger as well, just to get into that corner and just to work the product into it. But nothing too high up under the eye. It just sort of brightens that inner corner. I do love that concealer. That's the Dior Backstage concealer. I will put all the links below for you. And then if there's any other area of concern that you want to sort of lift forward, then just add a little bit there and a little bit there. I'll do the whole face soon. No, keep it simple. Then just patting it out. It just gives that lovely sort of warmth to the skin and just a nice, it's starting to get a really nice finish there. So next we're going to look at brows. I suggest brushing the brow down. I know this sounds a little controversial, but then taking a nice taupey brown. This one's by MAC. It's a really lovely brown. It suits absolutely everyone, and the great thing about it is as well, you can either go really light for blonde hair, but if you've got darker hair then you can just press it that little bit heavier and just get that little bit more payoff. But how you do your brows is you basically take it from your nose up and you can see where you may have a few gaps, so I would almost mark where you want it. So I'm sort of marking there, but I'm going to fill in a minute. Then I'm taking it to the side, and you may find that your tail of your brow doesn't come quite out. So from the nose across the eye, can you see there, like that, and then mark again. We don't want to drag the eye down too much, so we're keeping the markings quite high. And then to get that lift in the middle, you go through from the edge of your nose through your iris. And again, just mark the high point. And then from there, just take feather-like strokes. I'm holding the very end of this, as you can see. If I wanted a bit more intensity, I'd go really close, but I'm going more feather-like motions and hair-like strokes to get the effect of a natural brow. And then just feathering out to the side, rather than dragging it down, just feathering out to the side. Okay, and then from there, go back with your brush it back into the brows over the work you've done, so it sort of disguises any harsh lines that you may have created. And then just look underneath and just think, oh, just want to fill in there. Just a couple of little gaps, nice and easy. And then you can just go across like that, and you can see the difference straight away. It just makes such a difference. It frames the eye, it lifts the eye, gives us almost a mini eye lift. It's perfect. If you feel that you don't want to use a separate pencil and that's too much for you, I totally understand. So just get something like this is from Benefit, the Gimme Brow, and it's got pigment already in it, and all you do is just brush through the brows, and this is perfect. So if you want it even quicker and even simpler, just use something like that, and that will define the eye as well. And then you can use the tip just to fill in any little gaps if you feel that you want to sort of give it that little bit more pigment to certain areas. So next we're going to be looking at adding just that little bit more depth to the eye before we start to use our mascara. So what I'm going to, and you can skip this step obviously, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. And because I've got the hooded eye, using a liner on top can sometimes close the eye up, and also it can transfer quite easily as well, especially if you're particularly hooded. So what I suggest for a really natural, easy way is just to go underneath the lashes instead of on top, and just giving it a little wiggle, and it just transfers the liner. It's nice and soft. You need a nice soft gel-like eyeliner. This one's perfect from Stila. And if you do need to lift the eye, then do so. Just lift up, look in the mirror, lift your chin, lift the brow, and then just give it a wiggle down on the lash. Just take your time and blink anytime you want. And the great thing about this is that it just is foolproof, because it doesn't have to be a nice straight line. It can just be little dots in between the lashes, and yet it really does add a difference and give that depth to the eye. Make your lashes look that little bit longer really. So next I'm going to add a little bit of mascara. I'm going to put all the links below of the mascaras that I recommend. But I do love a tubing mascara because they just are perfect for watery eyes. When you go outside and your eyes don't stop watering, and then you end up with mascara halfway down your face, you just think, well, I'm not going to wear mascara at all. But if you get a good tubing mascara, it's perfect. They're water resistant, yet they come off with warm water. I know it's quite hard to sort of get your head around, but you just run the warm tap, and just massage the lashes, and then it just comes away. It's really easy to remove, yet it'll stay put all day. It's obviously up to you how much mascara you want to apply, but if you want just to sort of take the eye out to the side, just make sure that you're covering the ones on the edges. And I always like to take it over the top just to catch the very tips of the lashes, and then go back in and lift up. And I always like to coat the bottom lashes as well, because I just feel it frames the eye nicely. Not talking about a lot, just a little bit, just to give that lovely doe-eyed look really, I suppose. So next we're going to apply a little bit of blusher. This one is by Stila. I really like this blusher. It's really nice, really kind to the skin. Suits lots of skin tones, but it's really easy to apply, and it's a nice cream blusher, so it gives a nice sort of natural fresh flush to the cheeks. So where we're going to apply is just almost high up. We're not going on the full apple of the cheek, because we don't want to sort of drag the face down. We want to go that little bit higher. So I'm just going up here, up and out. And again, it's a patting motion. And then once you've applied it, just get your sponge and just soften the edges. And the beauty of using a sponge is that it's already got just that little bit of the foundation left on. So then it just diffuses all of the edges of any other product that you're then going to apply. So it makes you look as if you're glowing from within. Next, we're going to do the lips. I'm just going to line the lips. So just to show you how you can create that little bit of a fuller pout. So it's lining from the base up. So as you can see, you've got like a line at the top of the lip. Now you want to just be sat on top of that line. So it's taking it from the base up. You see how that's creating a slightly fuller pout. And then also going from the bottom out. And what I'm also doing is I'm not going right into the corner because I don't want to drag the mouth down. So I'm just stopping just short there. But I will show you the other way. So taking it from the Cupid's bow down. Can you see the difference between the two? So that's lining it on the line, just almost underneath. And that's just slightly overlining, but nothing too obvious, just nice and soft and kind. Obviously, we're only making up one side of the face. So I'm just going to take that side off. So then taking a pencil and just filling in the lip. Now, the beauty of this is that you get that pigment all over the lip, so that then if your makeup does come off, your lipstick is bound to come off with eating and drinking, you'll still get that stain on the lip and you won't get an obvious line because it's been diffused throughout the lip. So I would suggest that that's quite a nice tip to do. And then from there, just using a lovely hydrating balm. These are just gorgeous because they're like lip balms, but they add a little bit of pigment and just take on your natural pH. So it just looks so natural and really, really creamy. And yeah, if you like the feel of a lip balm, you will really love these. So they're really nice as well. And they're by Bobbi Brown. So then you can just finish up by just spritzing the face with a setting powder, which is always nice to use. And actually, I really love the setting powders in the summer months because it seems to pep your makeup up, refresh it, and actually cools you down as well, which is perfect, especially when I'm feeling quite menopausal. So it really gives a nice hydration to the skin again and just rejuvenates everything. But you've also got the option of the beautiful Ambient palettes. Now, these ones are by Hourglass and they are a bit of an investment, but once you've got them in your makeup bag, you will love them forever. I've rebought these over the years, but all you would do is just go into sort of a nice, you can either sweep across them all, to be honest, but the Ambient powder just on the edge, just to give a little finish to the skin, but it just seems to really sort of beautify the skin. It's really, really gorgeous. And then you've got the option as well of a little bit of bronzer, okay? And then you can just add that just to the sides. Again, I'm just patting it into the skin. I'm not sweeping. I'm not disturbing any of the makeup we've already done. I'm just giving just that little bit. Might sort of take you sort of into the evening. It's something you'd carry around with you and just sort of pep up your makeup. And then going in with a little bit of highlighter. Now, really important on highlighter is, as you can see where we crease, I always suggest going just underneath the creases. You don't want to sit right with a high shine here. So you just want to go underneath. So again, just patting that in. This one is just a lovely highlighter. It's nothing too glittery. It's not glittery at all, actually. It's just got a lovely sheen to it, but it just gives a lovely finish to your skin. It just looks flawless. So that's basically it. Nice, fresh makeup. Nice and simple and easy to do. I know we've taken longer today and I've shown a few tricks and hints and tips along the way, but it really wouldn't take you long at all. And try the technique of drawing on your face. At least you can get your placement exact, but use that sponge to then diffuse it all out and just use that stippling motion as well, because it really does work. So you can really see the difference between the two. It's just evened out my skin tone beautifully. Nothing too harsh, just a nice soft makeup that enhances and doesn't hide, but can make you feel just that little bit more put together, a little bit prettier and a little bit more youthful, I suppose. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have, please remember to like and subscribe. I will put all the links below so that you can see all the products that I've used today and products that I would recommend for you. We can navigate this together because it does get overwhelming. I mean, even when I go into the drugstores or the beauty counters, you do feel quite overwhelmed by it. And I know what I'm doing. I've been in the business for many years, whereas, you know, there is a lot of products out there. So let's work through together. If you've got any questions, please just ask and I'm happy to help. So I look forward to seeing you again soon and making more content for you. Thank you.